Thank you.
Thank you for saving me.
I ran in the streets with the money makers, boss players, manipulating women's minds, man, I think I'm playing. Chasing money, fine clothes, 20 dudes with me. I'm trying to get it how I live, chasing 150s. Now the homies in the gap say that I done changed, cause I go to church and trying to live right, man. Drinking liquor, club jumping, it was old to me. He paid a price and it was.
What up, what up?
How does it feel, man, on your sophomore album, man?
D-Houston, man, it feels good. But it's been a long process, I ain't gonna even lie. It's been a long process and I can't wait for this to go ahead and drop. So this could give me people's spirits, their hands, hopefully some lives could be changed. See, I'm not focusing on, I need 1,000 CD sales. I got a forecast, if 5 people get saved, I'm good. You know what I'm saying? If some souls could really get saved rather. Now, of course the money is good because I just spent that a lot. You know what I'm saying? So, but if we could get some souls saved, bro, that's really what's most important.
What's the biggest difference do you believe from Once Was You, Crowded Eyes?
I've grown, you know what I'm saying? I had some tested times. So my testimony, between I Once Was You and Crowded Eyes, I was writing my testimony.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Through the vehicle of life though. You know what I'm saying? So that's the difference. And also sonically, the musicianship on this project, you know what I'm saying? This is just another avenue for the people that understand this lingo. If you know what I mean, you know what I'm saying? But some people like trap music, some people like rap music, but that may be that thing to just spark their interest, you know what I'm saying? So, touch some hearts.
As we get ready to shut it down, close it out, what message do you have for the people, man? Is it something that you just want to say to the people? No questions, just you talking to them?
Crowded Eyes. So this project is called Crowded Eyes. Don't focus on the distractions. Keep your eyes on God. Like straight up.
That's a word, bro. D-Houston.
What up, kid? What up, kid?
The genesis of my poetic stroll started before I was 36 years old. I later gave my life to the Lord for exchange of my soul, but the process was raw footage. See, seeing a heavy smelling like raw footage.
Yes, sir. That's my boy, Kid.
A little poetry here and
Poetry. Hey, Kid, just real quick, man. Thus far, so since you heard some of the Crowded Eyes project, tell me what you think about Crowded Eyes project. What does Crowded Eyes mean to you?
Yeah.
And also, just expound on, you knew D Swift transitioning to D-Houston.
Right.
Just a little that you know, just expound on those things and tell me what you think.
You know, from hearing the album, man, picture this. I'm gonna paint this picture for you. You know, when your child gets sick and the child is coughing, nose is stopped up, and then you go get that vapor rub and then open him up. Man, that's what I felt, you know what I'm saying, when I heard the album. It just opened my spirit up. It was very edifying and very professional, you know what I'm saying, and very creative, you know. Crowded Eyes, what it means to me is just focusing on something that you really don't need to put focus on. Our true focus is really the cross. Once we got to focus on the cross, man, nothing can crowd our vision. Nothing can distract us. So, you know, definitely want to encourage whoever watching this to keep their eyes focused on Jesus, on the cross, and you'll never be crowded. Now, that boy D Swift, D-Houston, that dude was a foul dude, man. I mean that. Playing basketball, that boy used to foul his now. But his transition to living for God, man, I can see, you know, his spirit, you know what I'm saying, more joyful. He's full of life, you know what I'm saying. Definitely a family man. When I see him, he got his kids with him, and I know that's just an effect. And it's a representation of his life and relationship with God, you know what I'm saying? Because you know, once you have a relationship with God, it kind of affects you in that type of way. It prompts you to take care of responsibilities is what I'm trying to say. So he's definitely taking care of responsibility, and he's definitely trying to reflect God.
We got good trials on this project. Hey, real quick, Nick, quick question for you, bro. So just tell me about the transition that you've seen from D Swift to D-Houston.
Man, D Swift was a booger bird. We ran them streets together. We did it all just about. But D. Houston, this the guy I want to be close to. He got God in his life.
Yes, sir. As far as what I think about the project, I mean, it sounds like a phenomenal project. That I heard, anytime that you have an individual that's made the transition from being in the world and of the world to being saved and sanctified, living a Holy Ghost-filled life, it really just shows the power of God, not only in his own life, but in his music as well. And what I think about you in the transition, like, it's kind of inspiring, because we kind of cut from the same cloth at that point in time in our lives, you know, and we thought that this is what we should be doing. But our eyes were wide.
To D. Houston, bro.
Honestly, man, when I met D. Swift was still the humble dude. It's just more that the transition, you know, when it comes to the music is still good music. I feel like the message that he's getting out there is more powerful. It can help a whole lot of people out there, and people that came from his situation in his past, you know, they can relate to it, and also pretty much help them get on the right path too.
Real.
Of trying to, not necessarily saying being D. Houston, but you know, being that motivation of want to be in that type of perspective, that mind perspective too as well. So,
Real.
Man, I think it's a great thing, man. I'm trying to get on y'all level, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? One day I'm gonna be there, you know, I'm working, dog. You know?
Hey, real, that's real. Hey, man, so thus far, since you listen to the Crowded Eyes project, tell me what you think about it. Also, just the process of D. Houston changing from D. Swift to D. Houston, you know what I'm saying? Tell me about that process too.
Well, I'm gonna start there with question number 2. I've been knowing Derek Houston since the 5th grade. When his mama drove up in a Jimmy and dropped him off Miss Standing class. I think that was what the teacher was, but that's been my friend ever since then. I've seen him grow in many ways, in the wrong direction. I remember having conversations with him when I first got converted, and he was telling me, hold up, not yet. He knew what it was and when he wanted to turn, so he thought. But God called him, and God got him. And he turned his life around, and I started seeing a major change in his life. One thing, if y'all don't know D. Houston, this is what you need to know. Either he all in, or he all out. And for God right now, I'm telling you, my brother is all in. So to see that, to know that you have somebody on your side that's all in, I'll do anything for him. I really don't rap, but I will rap for him. I used to do it for the devil, so why not do it for the Lord? Why not do it for my friend who's all in? So that's a major thing to me. Now this album, Crowded Eyes, listen, this boy came from the Wood Studios. It makes no sense to you. I know what it means. He laughing right now, thinking about the Wood Studios. But this guy has grown. I remember when he couldn't rap. I remember when he had a keyboard making beats. His keyboard didn't have all the keys on it. It was missing teeth. So to see him, and even then he was making hot beats. It was real producers out here, and Derek was the one selling beats because he's always been gifted. He's always been anointed, but his gift did not make real room for him until he started doing it for the Lord. This guy had a chance. He probably got 20 secular albums he could have dropped, but God wouldn't let any of it come to fruition. But when he gave his life to Christ, you got an album called I Once Was You. And then the next thing you know, he's following up with his sophomore album, Crowded Eyes. And that is so major. If you heard I Once Was You want to pre-order Crowded Eyes. It's 10 times better. That's what I got to say about my friend D.
Even if I did wrong, I didn't deserve to die. Daddy lost a son, mama hurting inside. But the underlying issue is what we really been through. Covered up feelings, no support from judicial. No doubt a lot of people really gon' miss you. But look at what you did, they addressing the issue. But God got a plan for every one of our lives. I lift my head to the sky, Lord. Put your hands in the sky.
it on.
Put your hands up.